Joe Brand! Hey Joe, lovely to see you.
I love to see you too.
No, well, last time was 5 years ago, so in that period, you've had another baby, you've turned 50. These are some pretty major milestones in your life, aren't they?
Yes,
Big
thanks for
changes.
reminding me.
Well, I didn't do it, you know, but I can't believe that you're 50. You look so much younger.
Oh, bollocks, do I? No, I'm having a bit of a rough time at the moment because my gastric band just isn't working. I don't know what to do.
I'm having exactly the same problem.
Maybe I shouldn't have got an elastic one. Have you thought about it?
No, I've thought about you can have a gastric balloon. I've read about this, you can put a balloon in, a gastric balloon, but the problem about the balloon is it fills the stomach up, but it's not quite as big a process as that. But no, I know what I'm like. I'd still eat about 8 or 10 custard creams every time I sat down, and I would just push the balloon out of the way, you know what I mean? It would like, or I'd pop the balloon with my
I'd
gluttony.
pull it out for a kid's party.
Make it into like a dog and then put it back in. Now, you know, the first time I saw you perform ever, and I don't know if I should admit this, I thought you might be gay.
No.
Well, because you were wearing what I considered to be the gay uniform at the time. It was like black leggings and a black top and a slightly angry expression.
Yeah.
You know, and this was the mid-'80s, and I thought, was that a common mistake? Did a lot of people think that about you?
Oh, not half. And no one thought I was heterosexual, actually, at all. Even my husband thinks I'm gay.
How did you convince him?
I didn't convince him. He can't run very fast. So I sat on him.
But now, and now you have the kids in your life as well. Are people surprised when they see you with kids? Do they think they're yours, or do they think that you're looking after them? Or?
They think that I'm their grandmother.
No.
No, they do. I was actually in the school playground the other day, and Tessa Jowl, who's our local MP, was there. And I've met her a few times. She came over, she went, "Oh, hi, Joe. On Nan duty for the weekend, are we?"
That's
I know.
rude.
You're not meant to punch an MP, are you?
It's hard to resist, isn't it?
It is hard to resist.
So how old are they now? How old are the kids?
They're 5 and 7.
Well, you know, they're such lovely ages, aren't they? Because 5, they're kind of through the worst period of being troublesome youngsters. They're at school for much of the day.
Well, I like that school thing, because I can go back to bed with a bottle of vodka and watch Loose Women. It's brilliant.
OK, now you're touring at the moment? You're back on tour?
Yeah, I've nearly finished touring, actually, so I'm not really here to promote that, because I've only got 2 dates left.
But do you enjoy doing it now? Do you still like going out there?
I do. I love it, because I like touring outside London, because they're so pleased to see you.
Is that why? Because we're spoiled for choice here in London?
Yeah, there's a kind of cynical edge in London, because there's so much comedy on. And what I tend to do is I like to get, like, local papers and just basically take the piss out of them.
So you take them on stage with you?
I do, yeah. I mean, because I live in South London, where, of course, our paper's called the South London Murderer. But if you go out to the country, they have such lovely headlines, you know. I mean, I was at the Hay Festival last week, and the headline on the front of their paper was, "Handle pulled off burger van." And obviously I surmised that it was a rogue group of Weight Watchers who were out for the weekend and were so weak with hunger they only managed to pull the handle off. But, yeah, so no, it's really good fun touring. I like it.
And what kind of crowds you play to? Who comes to see you now? Who's your kind of like core fan base?
It's a real mixture, actually. There's quite a lot of old ladies, there's couples, and there's young boys who are slightly effeminate and just about to come out.
Because, you know... I was wondering whether you have a different audience now, because I was watching some daytime TV the other day. I was waiting for Paul O'Grady to start, I think. Countdown was on. It might have been a repeat. And you were on with Des O'Connor. How often do you do Countdown? You were in Dictionary Corner.
I was. Probably about 3 or 4 times a year.
And do you like it? Is it fun?
I love it. It's like going to a little sweet kind of northern family, you know. Me and Des sit there in the dressing room with just our pants on, smoking our pipes, drinking Jim Beam. It's marvellous. I love it.
And presumably, though, you do get people who know you more from that than from other things when they come to see you.
Well, I do, and obviously that's something that I really worry about, because I think I'll go to a gig and there'll be a big crowd there of Countdown fans who don't realise what a horrible, potty-mouthed old bag I am. So I always say when I'm introducing the show, for those of you who've only seen me on Countdown, it's quite rude and there's a lot of swearing, so if you don't like that sort of thing, fuck off now.
So it gets the message across, and it's funny.
It does.
There you go. What would they come to see, do you think? Just you sort of like untangle a bunch of anagrams and...
I think so, yeah, because the thing I've got into on Countdown now, because I did it once, I now have to do it every time, is when the letters come up, I have to make up my own words.
So you use, which is in a way a great way of cheating on the game, of course, but I mean it's for comic effect.
Well, nothing wrong with cheating, as Lee from The Apprentice will attest to.
He made a mistake, that's all. He made a little mistake when you see him about how long he's been there. He is a strange old thing, isn't he?
That is the spitting image of Lee.
But you've been in, did you do the Celebrity Apprentice? You did, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Now, how's that? How is it facing Sir Alan? Because obviously there's not anything at stake in the same way, but at the same time, I guess you want to do well in the task when you're doing that.
Well, for me, it was a really good laugh, because what happened was they got the kind of scary Larry types like Trini to go and threaten people and try and extract money from them.
Yeah, and she knows a lot of posh people from whom it's easy to extract money, I imagine.
She does,
so,
like elderly ladies who don't know where they are. She basically goes in and rifles in their handbags, you know. Those are wives of squillionaires, whereas, you know, the less attractive, older female on the show, that's myself and Maureen Lipman. Obviously, Maureen's not less attractive, but I am. We just got put in the kitchen pulling the heads off squids.
Doing the actual work.
Yes.
But it must be fun having, I mean, how much do they give you on that show? How much help do they give you? Do you actually go off and you rely on your own devices, or do you get kind of steered in the right direction?
Well, you don't really get any help at all. But I mean, I think what they do is they kind of employ people who know a lot of very rich people. So it's quite easy in some ways.
It's a
they
different
just
thing.
phone up the chairman of some football club and go, can I have 50 grand? And he goes, yeah.
See,
it's not difficult,
We had Sir Alan on, he asked me to do it. And I wanted to do it, but I wanted to do it like the proper Apprentice. I thought they should drop us somewhere where no one knows who we are and we're not allowed to call any friends and try and do a proper task. But I guess the plus side of the way you just described it is they do then raise that money for comic relief. So it's not the same as the show, but the end result is in some ways better, I guess, for them.
Yes, I suppose so, because we did actually make a huge amount of money. I mean, say what you like about Trini, and I think she's a cow, but she knows I love her. But she raised the most phenomenal amount of money out of people. I could not believe it.
You've done a few reality shows, haven't you? Always for a good cause. Well, you've done Fame Academy for comic relief. You did The Apprentice.
Yes.
You weren't in, they didn't do Celebrity Big Brother, but recently you learned the organ, and that wasn't for comic relief, that was for a different sort of experience show, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that was a programme by the BBC that was attempting to encourage middle-aged people to take up an instrument that they played as a child. Well, and I'd entered that bracket by then, rather sadly.
That's a strange idea for a show when you stop to examine it that way.
It is a bit weird, yeah.
And so you played piano when you were a kid, I guess?
I did.
Okay, and then they gave you the organ to master?
No, I chose that, actually.
Why the organ?
Because it's so comedy and it's so big and melodramatic. You know, a lot of people my age, their image of the organ is Terry Jones from Monty Python sitting naked on a chair going like that, you know. And that was the kind of picture I wanted to...
But you didn't go that far? You didn't go naked on the chair?
No, not in public.
No. Where was it you were playing it? Was it in it was a big venue of some sort?
I played at the Royal Albert Hall.
Wow, what an incredible experience.
It was unbelievable.
But
there were 8,000 people there, including my mum, which was obviously the most scary thing, and the local vicar, Father Ray.
And it was successful? It went down well?
Well, who knows? I mean, it was very difficult to tell whether they were just so stunned that I'd actually managed to get up some steps.
Well, I've heard it sounded right.
Did it?
I think so.
I went wrong quite a lot, but my organ teacher said to me, whatever you do, don't stop, because if you stop, then everyone knows that you've kind of cocked it up.
OK, let's have a look. This is Joe in action on Play It Again. No, I admire you for doing this, and I think you pulled it off admirably, and I hope you enjoy seeing the results. Who would have thought you'd ever be doing that?
I know. I mean, I had this kind of weird out-of-body experience, you know. I was so terrified. Well,
but I'm guessing when you're doing stand-up, you're fairly confident. I mean, you know you can do it. You know, I mean, you've been doing it for years, so you know how to do it.
Well, that's a bit of a myth. I don't know many stand-ups that are ever fairly confident. Do you know what I mean? Stand-ups all the time are terrified that the next gig they do, they will meet the kind of heckler that destroys them. That's the thing you've always got to worry about as a stand-up.
Yeah, and do you get heckled much?
I do. When I was working at the weekend, there was a very attractive 20-year-old woman down the front went, "Get your tits out." It took quite a long time, but I managed it in the end.
Now, this is a weird thing, and I don't know if it's true or not. You like to rally drive.
Well, I don't anymore, but I did kind of about 10 years ago. I got my international rally driving licence.
Now, that seems strange.
Yeah,
You
well,
don't-
I love driving, because I think driving in London, there's nothing like it. I mean, I don't know if you know that the traffic lights are phased differently in London.
I did know
I don't
what
know if you
from the rest of the
noticed.
country.
Green means go, amber means go, and red means fuck it, just 5 more cars. It's great if you're driving in London. And, you know, I drive quite a lot, because my husband never learnt to drive, in my opinion. So I always, I love driving fast, you know. I mean, not in a Jeremy Clarkson 170 miles an hour down the M40 sort of way.
Yeah.
But I just really wanted to have a go at it and see what it felt like.
So what, have you gone out for a day on the racing tracks? You have those sort of special days out where people let you drive around?
No, I did more than that. I trained on a racetrack for a day, and then I did 8 separate rallies to get my licence.
Wow, so you're a trained rally driver?
I am.
I would never have known that about you.
No, I know. Well, I don't look good in one of those all-in-one suits, it has to be said.
Not
But,
many
you know,
people do, really.
No, they don't, really.
And so what joy do you get? What do you like about it? You like just the speed or being in control of a big piece of machinery? What is it?
Well, actually, I had a really little car. I had a Peugeot 106, a kind of souped-up one. I just love the acceleration of it and scaring the tits off the spectators as well.
So you steer towards them a little bit?
Absolutely. I mean, there was a spectator on the final stage that I did, apparently, who'd watched the rally the year before, and a car had kind of hit him and broken his leg. So the following year, he decided to stand up in a tree to keep out of trouble, and a car hit the tree and he fell out and broke both his legs.
But he only has himself to blame, doesn't he?
Indeed, yeah.
And so you've never hit anyone, though, in rally driving?
Not rally driving, no. I did actually hit a couple of blokes once in Hackney on my way to a gig. Took a corner too fast, they went up over the bonnet. I thought, oh Christ, I've killed them. I got out of the car, they were all right, they got up, and I said, I'm sorry, can I give you a lift anywhere? And they went, we're coming to see you.
How lovely to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, a lovely guest. You must come back sooner than
Thanks for
5 years' time.
having
Mr. I'm sorry. I was confused. It's Joe Brown, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't want to say Mrs. and then I forgot Ms. Joe Brown, ladies and gentlemen.